All right, Gerard Edwards or Gerard Edwards. How's it going, buddy? Welcome to the House Lime.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here, man. It's great to be here.
Nice.
It's great to be part of this thing that you guys are doing, you know.
Yeah, well, we trying a thing. We just released episode 10 today.
Yeah.
Wow.
So far so good. Dexter, what you think? So far so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
We're gonna pass Star Wars just now.
For real. So, bro, how things going with the whole coronavirus scene, boy? I mean, for those who listening or watching right now, I think the news just came yesterday that we now have 2 confirmed cases.
Yes.
And we've had a little bit of panic buy-in this week and that kind of thing, and flights being cancelled and parties being cancelled. Some people is like business as usual. I mean, how have you been taking things or preparing?
Right. Yeah. So from the business point of view, is almost like for me, I have to re-engineer my operations a bit because we, the reality is that revenue is probably going to fall.
Yeah.
Transactions probably going to fall as people start to self-isolate, self-quarantine, and that kind of thing, you know. Luckily for us, we have varying revenue streams, right? So we have curbside pickup, which limits interaction with customers.
Yeah.
And then we also have delivery, which also limits interactions with customers.
How far y'all doing delivery? Like what parts of Trinidad?
So we try to do it around the radius of the branches.
Okay.
So right now we have the Chagonas and Arpita Avenue branches. So we try to do, within a reasonable radius, between the branches kind of thing. But sometimes we go far. I mean, sometimes in Chagonas, it's so funny. You will have somebody order 1 wrap to Trin City.
Right.
And sometimes, given that distance and stuff, the delivery cost might even be more than a meal, but but you're selling convenience at the end of the day.
Right.
So people willing to pay up for convenience and they do it. So
yeah, that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was telling Dexter a little earlier, it's like usually when something is happening abroad, like it's a war in the Middle East or whatever, it's like we kind of watching it on a TV, and it's like a movie now.
Right.
It's not reality because we're so detached from it because it's seemingly far away.
Yes.
And when I saw this happening, it was similar in that I was like, oh, it's over there. We're gonna be okay. And I was kind of dismissing it because we had all these different things before, and nothing really came of it.
Right.
And then I just followed the news and I seen it again closer.
Right.
Again closer.
Yeah.
Again closer.
Yeah.
And then it's like, boy, it's
It's
here.
here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
So it just shows how, and only from, the first cases started like in December or something?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. Or when
so,
the news came out, because
yeah. China could have been suppressing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
boy. I mean,
Yeah.
what a
They
place
had
for it to
whistleblowers
begin,
and thing,
right? What
know?
a place for it to begin,
Yeah.
And somewhere where they could control their media and the stories, they could really craft their own stories.
Yeah, right now they're
coming out
saying
with
that the numbers going down, but
so
I
much
don't
so
know. I don't know
that
if
they
to believe it.
actually I think they said they just kind of closed off the hospitals that have been delegated to
That's
deal
what
with
they're
it.
saying, but
That's what they're saying, but-
they know about propaganda, them
Right.
and North Korea know about, they write the book on propaganda.
Yeah.
Like they want people to get back to work. So
I mean, what
you
you're
don't
hearing
know.
about Russia, cases in Russia.
Nothing, but
Right.
they probably have too.
Yeah.
But
so,
there was real dread with the border closing down though.
Right. True. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but yeah, you don't know.
The ability to craft your own story is
Yeah.
always an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could even talk about marketing a little bit later as
Yeah,
well,
for
about
sure.
crafting stories.
For sure, yeah.
But
So coronavirus, the main thing I would say is that businesses, leaders of businesses, it will test your ability for change.
Yeah.
Because change is not coming, it already here, right?
Yeah.
So how can you quickly re-engineer your business, your processes, lead your people, right, to really counteract what is already here?
Yeah.
And and this is going to test us as leaders, because I think at the beginning of the year, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, nobody thought or might have thought that, you know,
Yeah, because God is a Trini.
Right, we might be
God
facing
is a
this.
Trini.
We might be facing this. But you see, when the WHO say pandemic, then you know it's going to pan. It is going to pan. So, you know, and I mean, particularly with Carnival, I personally find it so amazing that we were able to execute Carnival and have all these people from all over the world who have interacted and been in airports, right? Land in this country, jam up next to each other, sweaty, you know, in people's face, sharing bottles of alcohol cups. And, you know, we haven't had any kind of craziness yet.
But,
you know?
but Hannah. So we have two cases, right? Two confirmed cases.
Right.
But just like the U.S., why Trump is getting licks for in the U.S. is because we don't have the ability, or we haven't been testing everybody.
Right.
Right. To qualify to be tested, you must have a travel history where you have been to China or Italy or now France or, you know, to be tested.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, well, I don't know if it's a lot of people, but you can't want to be tested and they will tell you, I'm sorry, we can't test you.
Right.
And that is happening in the States in a big way. They're now trying to like ramp up things or whatever.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is our numbers could be higher than we think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we certainly don't have people pouring into the hospitals because we would get that news, right?
Right.
But I'm just saying it's probably more than 2.
Right.
You know,
Could be.
Is kind of what I'm saying.
Could be, yeah.
But we kind of see how it goes. Now, you were saying just now that, like, you know, companies need to be creative in how they kind of handle this. So some companies could, so like you guys are stepping up the delivery.
Yeah. So if you look
you
at
have
my
the
social media
curbside
now,
pickup and that kind of thing which you're pushing.
Yeah.
Some companies are letting their people work from home. Like if you work in an office or behind a computer or whatever, like
I
you
wish
could
we
work
could
from
rap
home.
from home. If we could rap from home, if we could do a rice bowl from home, I mean that would be amazing. But work from home,
But then what about companies like a cinema? I mean, if you're working in movie town, what they go do?
Right.
What they go do?
People who have to be. Who, you know, and it's the same thing for restaurants, barbers, hairdressers, and the thing is a lot of small businesses. So some bigger businesses have resources to, like, let's say, part of your response to this now. I always believe in work from home from before. Like years now. I mean, at BP, which, you know, helped shape a lot of the things that I do today in WrapWorks was shaped by amazing
by
stuff
your
I
experience
learned
there.
At BP, right? Now, they had work from home policy like years now, and I find a lot more companies should have that. But the bigger companies are the one who could get their IT people to say, listen, we need people to log in from home now. How fast you could ramp that up, right? But smaller companies may not be able to do that. So even though you want to implement a work from home policy, your technology, your operations, I mean, you know, employees might ask you, so which phone I going to use when I have to call you? I have to use my own phone. What about my credit? You know, it's like when you start to dig deep, when you start to dig deep into it, it's not just work from home. And then a lot of companies with work from home policies actually, whether known to the employees or not, they could track if the employee is really working. So you could start to track, well, how long you spend in Microsoft Word if you're supposed to be working on this report, or, you know, what have you been doing while logged into our portal? Because some companies, you could only log into a portal and work from there. So, you know, how long you log in today? And, you know, so it's, you know, it's not just as easy as work from home.
Yeah, you need to have
even for those who
thing.
can't work from home. You know?
But I mean, really, so like even if you don't have like the software monitoring side of things to see what employees are doing on their computer or whatever, you could still start the day where, you know, you have to-do lists set.
Yes.
And you say, okay, today we're working on ABC.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, or maybe by the end of the week or whatever, you see what was done.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so because like, I mean, I know some companies, they're real militant about, okay, you must come in by 7:30, and like, you know, the hours of work are 7:30 to 4:30. And when you do that and you're militant about it and you punish employees, they don't like to do extra.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so like we would see it in the advertising agency world a lot, where people work overtime often, people work on weekends often.
Oh yeah.
And you can't tell those kind of employees, you must come in here for 7 to 8 hours or giving you a letter.
Exactly.
Because it's like, well, I was working until 7 to 8 last night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, what you're getting out of an employee is value.
Yeah.
Not really time. Time is part of value, but you're getting value. And then it speaks to efficiency, because if I could have somebody do something in 2 hours versus 8 hours, then that person is more valuable to me because they will get more done in a day. So at the end of the day, you have to look at performance and you have to look at delivery. And all these things going to be tested now with this coronavirus thing. You know?
And from the video that we saw on our same Joe Rogan podcast, the dude was saying that we're not in for a corona blizzard. We are in for a winter, a corona winter, basically. So
it's gonna be.
This is gonna test us.
Yes, it is going to test.
This is gonna test us. But what about daily paid workers or weekly paid workers who, if their business closed down, they out of work? You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, is it something? I hate it when people always ask like, what the government gonna do for a week kind of thing.
Right.
But who else could help out in a situation where businesses gonna pay their rent?
Yeah.
Right? If things get real dread.
Yeah. So I think what has to happen here, my personal view, is that to some extent everybody is going to have to take some hit, unfortunately. And as leaders of all the individual organizations that might need to take a piece of the hit, we all have to do our best to minimize what that hit is. Right? So, for example, us, we're really going to concentrate on the curbside, the delivery, minimizing interactions and thereby minimizing risk of infection with customers and employees, right? But in terms of everybody taking a hit, already you've seen it in Italy where they've suspended mortgage payments and bill payments. A lot of the foreign bills that I might have to pay have already written and said in not so many words, because you don't want to drive a wrong behavior or an advantageous behavior, but they've already written and said in so many words, listen, if you have any trouble with your account, which basically means paying your bills for whatever reasons, reach out to us.
Okay.
And that's a form of taking a hit. If landlords see, well, listen, I have a business that is really affected by this and I know they can't pay their rent. Do you defer? Do you, give a discount? What? But there's a domino effect to everything, because the landlord might have a bank mortgage to pay on a property. He might be able to go and tell the bank that, or the bank might say, okay, we understand. So there's a real domino effect to how this thing is going to affect people. In terms of daily paid workers, again, it's going to really, it rests a bit on the organization to do their best. As leaders, that's what we have to do. But to some extent too, it is, in terms of everybody taking a hit, it might mean that, daily paid employees also be understanding or, flex with the organization to see how it could work, Already we've started to think of scenarios where if you have to reduce risk, then maybe, the reduction of risk means minimizing interactions and different things, right? So maybe you might have shorter days, or maybe you might have less people on a shift, right? So they're not as exposed.
So you don't go down to zero, but you kind of you go down a little bit and try and ride it out.
You adapt, you adapt, And people just gonna have to be understanding of everything that's going on, and just you have to educate people and sensitize them to what is already here.
Yeah, man, I think that's some good advice. Fatima, boys.
right. So we need to make a disclosure, right? Well, we have a big disclosure to make, because I was in primary school with Dexter.
You went to primary school with Dexter as well?
Newtown boys.
Dexter, you ever get strokes? I think the one time you may have been close to getting strokes was because you were sitting down next to me, and I would have you laughing because I would just be commenting all day on things going on.
Right.
Yeah. like, sir, you know, you need to change that chalk. That chalk kind of short. You're writing with your fingernails, you know. And then Dexter next to me, and Dexter was like a top. I mean, Dexter was a top student. Huh?
Yeah.
So, you know, my influence and that kind of thing. But, I think we turned out all right, man.
We turned out all right.
Yeah.
But I mean, same thing. I mean, when I was in Form 1, Fatima, Dexter was always either number 1 or number 2, boy. It was him and Boise. You know, Boise, always trying to go in for first and second and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, boy. So, what do you think about your Fatima experience overall, though? You think that helped guide you or mold you, and did you figure out what you wanted to do there?
Right. So Fatima, boy, you know, school pride.
Yeah.
School pride is something that runs so deep amongst us, you know. And the truth is that if I went to CIC, I would have been probably a different person.
Yeah, right.
I may not have been here with you guys.
You mean better, or what do you mean by different?
Definitely not better if I went CIC.
I like that.
You know, I mean, let's be real here, you know. But you know, so I think what I liked about Fatima a lot was it was really a well-rounded, all-rounded development. You know, yes, it is a school that has been known for its academic success, but I mean, I played hockey at Fatima. You know, I was involved in you know, little different clubs and thing, you know, AV club and stuff. And you also get to interact and go to school with people from all walks of life. You know, all races, but that's something that might just, I was going to say it could happen to you easily in Trinidad, but I'm going to roll that back, because it can't happen to you easily in Trinidad, because if you go to another school, like maybe some of the junior secondary schools, you might find more of the same people in the same class. But Fatima, I mean, we had people from all different economic circumstances and stuff, you know. And, you know, you kind of get sensitized to these kind of things. And then you had people who, you know, come from walks of life where they could have achieved the best that they could do because they have everything going for them, and you know, they may not have. And then you have that on the flip side, people with challenges who, you know, overcame and stuff. So
that's true.
Fatima was just, you know, an amazing experience. And for me, like personally, WrapWorks has been in Fatima events.
So you're in the FETs on that kind of thing. That's great, man.
We feed we do wraps for old boys meetings and so on, you know. They call us on a Tuesday and that kind of thing. So it's still good to be part of the school, you know. Every now and then I'll see Father Gregory. Father Gregory did my wedding, you know.
Oh, really? Okay, that's nice, man. That's nice.
Dexter was there and so on, you know. So, you know, it is very much a part of you. I wish I could do more, but, you know, technically, you know, I don't live here. I'm back and forth, you know, between the States and here. So, you know, you don't want to get too involved in anything that, you know, you can't really commit to.
You can't commit to. That makes sense. But, yeah, I mean, I tell people all the time because, so, I mean, I went to St. Andrews, which is, I guess, a more fancier. It's not the fanciest anymore because they have all kind of fancy hipster schools where you have vegan meals and all kind of whatever. I don't know what it, like Arbor and whatever, like what do you call them, you know?
Right, yeah.
And then, you know, if you went to like a school like that, and then you went to Maple Leaf or international school or whatever, like you in a bubble. Like, you know what I mean? Like you same thing. You're only seeing a certain type of Trinidadian background or whatever, you know. So yeah, I mean, when I first went to Fatima, the biggest shocker for me wasn't so much the people, but was like the toilets. Like it's real improved now. It's real improved now. But Form 1 Fatima, brother, I open up that toilet and I call my mother. I was like, I gotta go home to use the toilet. You know. Yeah. But I know it's massively improved, and the Old Boys Association has been doing some great things.
The Old Boys Association is doing real amazing stuff. You know, they're really putting back into the school. It's awesome. It's awesome what they're doing.
Yeah. So did you always know what you wanted to do, like career wise, because like for me, when I was going to Fatima, I wouldn't lie, like I had no idea what I knew what I didn't want to do.
Right.
But it took me a while to kind of figure things out. What about you?
Yeah. For me, definitely not.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, when I was, so my parents are lawyers.
Right.
So I wanted to be a lawyer.
Right.
Okay.
I thought that I had, you know, I still think that, you know, I could have been a good lawyer because I think I have the gift of gab. I think I'm good at analyzing stuff. You know, for me personally, I am sometimes into the more softer skills, the people skills, and so on, versus some of the real hard technical skills, you know. But then, you know, my father told me, nah. It have too much lawyers out there. So it have too much lawyers. So don't you know, try and do something else.
So he actually discouraged you, okay?
Yeah, he discouraged me. He discouraged me.
Okay.
You know,
how many? You come from a big family. How many other siblings and so on?
6 of us.
6 of y'all. Okay.
So 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So he told you forget about the law thing. Did he push you in a certain direction, or he left it up to you to kind of figure that out?
You know, he I think, well, one thing, boy, I was never too good at math, right?
Boy, that is me, boy.
Well, I would say in my earlier years, but you know, once I hit university and I kind of understood how to prepare myself better, for coursework and exams when it come to maths, you know, I did much better up to my MBA, where, you know, like things like stats and stuff I actually excelled in, you know, and then I just really got a passion for stats, you know, which we could talk about later on, because I really into like stats and you know, data and that kind of thing. Right. But pushing me in any particular direction, no. I remember I was really good at chemistry at first, so I thought, you know, I might do some chemistry and thing. Yeah. And then, boy, like after a while with chemistry, when it started to get deeper, I realized, nah, I'm not good at this at all. And at the time was Miss Kanai, and I had to go and talk to her that I was going to drop chemistry, because I think I was allowed to do 9 subjects at the time. So I said, you know, I drop in chemistry, and I think they thought it was okay because I was, you know, I still had 8 subjects, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was just really good with the business subjects. Like I was just a real natural there.
Yeah. So you weren't really trying to point yourself in a certain direction. You were just kind of following what you figured you were good at, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was almost like the path of least resistance in a way. I mean, you worked hard at it, right?
Yeah.
But it was still easier than the chemistry. So you were trying to find your natural ability and then maybe head down that way.
Yeah, because the thing with the maths is, if you're not good at maths, you're not going to go to look to do physics.
Yeah.
The biology wasn't really, you know, it didn't call out to me at the time. And then, well, you know, I was good in the chemistry, so I was doing the chemistry with the business. But certainly I had a real knack for business and for the business subjects, and I would like ace it. The things would just come so naturally to me. And, you know, you do have very technical disciplines within business, like, of course, economics, right? Business maths and stats. So, like, even economics, you know, I was doing really good in understanding all those curves and, you know, demand and supply principles, which are based in understanding of graphs and mathematical interactions and that kind of thing. Right. So, you know, I was okay at that. So I just stuck with business, you know. Yeah.
And your other siblings, what kind of stuff were they interested in, or what did they end up doing?
Right. So actually have a sister who's a lawyer.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Like my dad didn't get through to her. And I mean, when this is my second sister.
Okay.
Right, who's the second to last. And she, she would have decided to do law way after I was discouraged from law. Okay. So, and to me, the problem would have gotten worse. There were a lot more lawyers coming out then for sure. Yeah. Right? After me. So, she's a lawyer. We have 2 doctors in the family, back to back. So my second brother and my first sister, who are back-to-back siblings, are doctors. Particularly my brother, he is in Connecticut, and he is also one of the one of the only siblings with kids. So he has 2 kids. He's a doctor out there specializing. He's doing amazingly well. He's moving to one of the best university hospitals in the world in the field that he's in, which is endocrinology, dealing with, stuff like diabetes and all of that. So
so it sounds like everybody doing cool things, man.
Yeah.
So was he secret there? Who is he pops or the moms, like who?
Well, I'm gonna leave people out.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I have a brother who's an architect. Okay. Well, now he's into real estate development. So he's actually living in New York. So he lives close to where we are in New York. So we see each other, as kind of often, which is awesome. Nice. When you're living away, being able to see your siblings, Yeah. And then I have a brother who actually works at Carrefour, where they're doing the testing of the coronavirus stuff,
Tell him send a little kit for me, your boy, now. A little test kit,
Right. Yeah. I mean, so to your point,
so what is the secret? What is the family secret there? What do you think your mom and your dad sort of instilled in you guys that, y'all came out so, I would say successful. Yeah, right. I think most people would say that.
Right, yeah. Well,
what is the core belief?
The core belief is in God.
Yeah, okay. God first.
Is the center of a lot of
faith,
who
God
we are,
faith.
What we do.
Yeah.
I think also how we behave, how we treat with people, that golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We that's something that we just knew growing up,
Yeah.
Look at how you treat people. And then hard work, because both my parents, I mean, there are stories of my mother, because she grew up on Erica Street in Laventille, right? And there are stories of them walking on that muddy road.
Wow.
And then when they reach out to the corner that was paved, or the road that was paved, they would then put on their shoes for school, so that they don't go to school with muddy shoes.
Right.
And then, actually Eric Williams, back then they would say Eric Williams did everything, which of course he
did a lot.
He did a lot,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But they say Eric Williams paved the road for us. Yeah. So the road was paved and it was named after his daughter Erica. So that's how it became Erica Street in Laventille, right? So humble beginnings and hard work.
Wow.
Lots of hard work. Same thing on my father's side. He didn't have the money to go to university, to law school, and he would have worked for a while in a tire factory, in some menial job that he could have probably just continued in, if not for vision and ambition and stuff. And he saved enough money and he went to law school. So definitely hard work is one of them. Definitely balance is one of them, because you have some phenomenally successful lawyers. My parents have been very successful in their own right, but you have some phenomenally successful lawyers out there. They're in the papers all the time and stuff. And that if your parents wanted to, they could have probably been like that. But they said, what,
it's
balance
a balance,
is key.
because you have your family and
family. You have other things they want to do with your life. So to some extent, that may have that would have changed their priorities. So that's another big thing with us, balance. So you would find all of us, even the brightest amongst us, would still have balance, would still be into sports, would still be going to the gym, will still be caring about family, finding time for things, and the belief that balance too makes you better at what you do. So even if you're the best doctor or lawyer or architect or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that's all you do to be the best. You could do other things, and that helps you to be the best, or become the best,
Nah, that's a beautiful story there, man. And besides the hard work and that kind of thing, there's also something to do with belief in self.
Right.
Yeah. Because a lot of people might be in a bad situation, and they just sort of implode and just figure, well, boy, that's just how it is, and I'm born into this situation and there's no way out, kind of thing. I mean, what is the difference between person A and person B, where person B has something where they figure a way out, or find a way to encourage themselves even when they don't have the encouragement around them.
Right.
Yes,
and I'm so glad you brought that up, because we actually there's a kind of joke because people call us the Brady Bunch, right? Because we have like such positive outlook,
Right.
positive outlooks. You know, all of us. You know, we not into like the doom and gloom, and I think that's because of faith. So you walk by faith, and you don't walk by sight. You know, so you always believe that things are gonna be okay. I don't know what this coronavirus, what impact that's going to have on my business, but I am of the belief that things will be okay.
Yeah.
And part of that is, you know, they say God helps those who help themselves. So I am helping myself by trying to put all the right things in place and so on. But, you know, my belief is for a positive outlook. And once you have a positive outlook, it's going to craft everything around you.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to move forward with positivity. You're going to believe that each thing you're doing is making sense and towards a bigger goal and purpose.
Yeah.
And that really just changes your whole outlook.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, right? I was listening to a podcast about like positivity and that kind of thing, and this guy was like giving kind of tips. And negativity, right? Just like the people that we talk to, just by the media that we look at or the TV shows or whatever, that could really sort of be like a wet blanket.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because so like my dad, for example, he always looking at the news and you know, bad headlines get clicks now.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Bad news sells.
he's of the belief. I mean, yes, global warming exists, climate change exists, and that kind of thing. But we're not all gonna die in 10 years.
Right.
Right? Like things might get a little difficult.
Right.
But humans are resilient.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if you are surrounded by negative people, if you're surrounded by negative news, it does something to you.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. And I have a real issue with that personally with my father.
Yeah.
Because like, and this used to mess up my day, because sometimes on the morning we would be listening to these talk shows and people calling in, and to me it's always like some old person who sitting down at home with nothing to do, and they call in the morning, you see this government and thing and this country going down the drain. And so imagine you going to school, right? You're done already. You don't want to wake up so early in the morning and, you know, be going to school. You know, even though you enjoy school, if you could stay home, you might want to stay home, you know?
Yeah.
And this is what you hear in the morning going to school.
The first thing.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas, and I'm sure if you take surveys of people when they walk through the door in an office or at work, what did you do this morning? If people, I know people listening to gangster rap.
Yeah.
Going to work listening to serious gangster, real hyping up themselves
and you come in on your
music. Yeah. You know, and you're ready for the day kind of thing. Whereas you walk in and you just listening to very uneducated views, which is going to happen about coronavirus.
Oh gosh, well boy,
You know what's gonna
fake
happen to
news
you?
that going around now is like, and then mischief too, where people talking about that the government is covering up and everything is a conspiracy. And oh god, boy.
And bad news gets clicks, and fake news gets spread like
Yeah.
You know what's spreading worse than this virus? Sad to say, stupidity,
panic and
panic and fake news. That's spreading worse than the virus, and we will never have a cure for that.
Yeah, boy.
So we enter a blizzard of
stupidity,
of some
stupidity as well.
Yeah.
So boy. All right. So after Fatima, what was the next step there? You went to UE.
I went to UE. Yeah. So did pretty well at A levels. So you know, getting into UE was nothing. And you know, I'll just give a contrast to my brothers and sisters. And I don't know how it happened, but I never even considered going away, like leaving Trinidad.
Really?
Just for school, never, ever. I mean, even up to when I was in my 30s to go to London to do my MBA, I didn't think, like maybe 2-3 years before that decision was made, that I would do something like that.
Right.
You know. So I went to UE. Had a great run in UE. Yeah. You know. Did well. You know. Got the honors and the, you know, all those things. And I would say going to UE was great for first time, for a first degree, certainly. But I think for my masters, I'm definitely happy that I went.
That you went
I
away.
went away for sure. Yeah.
And after UE was your first job out of school was with what was that company again?
DFL, Development Finance.
So what do they do?
Yeah, they do debt and equity financing for small and medium enterprises.
Okay.
Right? And that, even though I loved BP, I was there for 9 years. I did really well there. It has really shaped who I am today in terms of the kind of processes and stuff I have in WrapWorks. At Development Finance Limited is where the entrepreneurial bug bit me hard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that bit me hard. So, but I mean, even before that, I always had a dream or vision of having a place called the Burrito King.
Oh.
And the way my visions work, like I actually see them, right? Like I will is a true vision, is a visualization, is everything. Like I would walk through the space and I would know how it would look and I would know who the customers are. And as go, like my imagination is around wild, right? So much so that Burrito King was supposed to be in Shops of Maraval.
Wow.
So every time I pass in Shops of Maraval, I used to say, hey, that's where Burrito King is and who parking up in front or whatever. Same thing with DFL, right? I would pass on Cipriani Boulevard because DFL is a big building. It's I think at the time and even now it was a sexy building. So I used to say, boy, I want to work there. And I didn't even know what they would do. I didn't even know what they did. But I knew there was finance in the name and it sounded cool. So I said, boy, I want to work there. Yeah. So and as an aside, there's an article that I always read often called it's about the imperfect leader, right? And imperfections, right? And understanding what your imperfections are. And one of the things that leaders have to work on is visioning and presenting a vision to their employees. The vision can't stay with you. So that was something that, that was important to me. So coming back to DFL now and the entrepreneurial bug, in DFL, I was mainly involved in debt financing. First, it started at the micro level, which was great, right? So I was meeting with people who needed micro loans, right? So it was microfinance I was doing. And those loans were anywhere from $3,000 to about $50,000 for business purposes.
Small businesses, right?
Yeah, well, this is even smaller than small.
This
is micro, right?
Yeah, because you're saying like a $3,000.
Yeah, 3,000, right. So this is a snow cone man who wants to buy a compressor and an ice machine, have somebody fabricate a cart, and, he's coming to you for a loan.
Right, okay.
And you it's a funny dynamic at first because you think that, you went to university, you have all these...
your papers.
Well, yeah, but you also have... You think you have this understanding of business and processes and finance and, all these things. And then a guy comes to you and is going to be doing more business things than you might ever do if you just stay in a job like that.
Right.
In a job that is dealing with business, right?
Yeah.
Because firstly... he's taking risk. You might never take risk in a job that you're doing to some extent. If you're in a job that is in the field of business, right? You might never actually take that type of risk. I shouldn't say you wouldn't take risk, but you wouldn't take that type of risk. So that's the first thing to respect, right? And then you have to have conversations with him like, well, where your snow cone cart going to be? You're going to be close to a school? You take that.
Right.
What kind of hours you plan to work and thing, And don't tell me you're coming out at 6 o'clock in the morning to do snow cone and thing, You say, okay, well, lunchtime after school. Okay, so we would have to evaluate, most of these businesses based on their operations, right? How they're going to operate, market, right? How they're going to, what markets they're going to serve and why, who they're going to serve, and then finally on the financial, their financial ability to repay, because it's debt. You want to make sure they make money so that you could,
so you could get back your money,
and so on, right? So with that, I was able to meet with just so many different
entrepreneurs on
the ground. People who hustling. People who have who had clothing stores. Well, clothing stalls. Sorry, not stores. Stalls on Charlotte Street, and they come to you. And they say, I have a plane ticket to the duty-free zone in Curacao, and I need 5,000 TT dollars, which is equivalent to how much ever US at that time, to bring back a suitcase.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you ask them, well, how long you think you're going to need to sell that suitcase? They might say, well, that suitcase might take a month to sell. Okay, cool. So, we're going to do the loan for a little while, and you're going to keep coming back to us and thing. And you see people grow from stalls to stores.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, they might even outgrow you in the microfinance. They might say, boy, well, I need more than $50,000 because I'm going to bring in a little container or something.
I find our company sounds amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I did not know that
Yes.
we had companies giving loans on that level. That is amazing.
Very cool.
Like, I would love to maybe even talk to somebody from that company.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be real cool
definitely.
if you could hook that up for us.
Yeah, because I'm still in contact a bit with people in the company.
Yeah.
And just, I'm glad you mentioned that because the company is part government owned and part private.
Makes sense.
Right? And it was initially set up to help finance the businesses of the manufacturing sector in the industrial estates of Trinidad and Tobago. So you would find that companies in the Trin-City industrial estate, some of the big companies who are doing very well, who export and that kind of thing, would have had some kind of financing or interaction from development finance. And this whole thing about capitalizing businesses and financing businesses is so important for growth and for for the economy, for getting things going. So if you didn't have a DFL and you had to rely on the commercial banks, there would be a lot of businesses.
It would be difficult to qualify.
Yeah,
you don't have the background to qualify. That's the problem.
Yeah,
there.
and then the other thing about DFL too is that they used to help you with your business. So you would find gaps because what you're trying to do with any form of financing is minimize risk, right?
Is it kind of like a Kariri? Because Kariri does some of that, not so?
Yeah, but I think they might be a little more operational and process driven
than the money side.
Than the financing side. So you would find gaps sometimes before you disburse a loan. You might say, we're seeing some gaps in your accounting. So as part of this loan, as part of you getting this loan, we would like you to sign up with a good accountant. You know? We realize that, you're having some people issues, we find your turnover kind of high, so maybe you need to do some stuff on the HR side. And, it's to help the businesses, but it's also to help your loan repayment. To make sure that people would pay you back, So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's like a real cool experience for you as well. Because you are probably seeing like so many entrepreneurs, and you're seeing areas where what went right, what went wrong, and you're seeing so many case studies on a constant basis that you are now you don't even need to go out there and make those mistakes because you're on the inside and you hearing about these mistakes. So that is such a great opportunity there. That was amazing.
And that's the foundation for business today. For me in business today. And I just want to mention one more thing. Dexter and I had a little business called Web Architects back in the day when we were probably like, I don't think we were driving yet because we couldn't really get to meetings and stuff really, so Web Architects, and we were doing like some little websites, some little stuff, so I guess that entrepreneurial spirit was always in me a little bit.
Yeah.
But you see, when I went to DFL,
it was like, boom, I want to go in there.
Right.
Let me in the ring.
Exactly.
Yeah. So at that point, did you know you wanted to start a business, or that just started the wheels churning in your head kind of thing?
Definitely started wheels churning.
Yeah.
So then I'll jump to BP.
Yeah. So
right.
How long you were at DFL?
I was at DFL for 2 years.
Right. And then you went over to BP?
And then I went over to BP for 9 years.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about BP then.
Right. So if you're in business and you're into business, in Trinidad and Tobago, you can't ignore the fact that so much of our business is driven by the energy sector.
For sure.
Businesses, the country is driven by the energy sector. So
yeah.
I kind of felt like, boy, I don't know anything about this sector. And it's something even a little funny for all of my schooling too. We weren't too exposed to the energy sector and what the energy sector meant to Trinidad and Tobago. I'll just ask you about your Fatima experience. Did you get a lot of lessons or understanding of the energy sector at Fatima?
No.
I cannot remember. Dexter?
No.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think so at all, yeah.
Right? But I will tell you something. In some parts of this country, it is very much a part of the ecosystem, and it is something that is pressed in schools, which is why I have some schools churning out a lot of engineers, a lot of great engineers, and that kind of thing. And people who know from 14, 15, 16, I want to work in the energy sector in Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm assuming that would be people like are near up to Point Lisa and that kind of thing. Schools around that area.
Yeah, around that area,
like
around
automatically, you want to work in the oil. You ain't looking to be a lawyer.
Right, yeah. So, to some extent, so I say all that to say that I wanted to be part of this energy sector.
Right.
I wanted to see what it was about. It's the lifeblood of the country.
Yeah.
So BP had a program called the Challenge Program, right? Because it's meant to challenge you in that after 3 years, it would be as if you were in the company for 5 years.
Okay.
Right? So you're doing a 5-year almost career in 3 years with 3 distinct roles. Right? Yeah, so it's a highly competitive program. So, the interview was like whole day. A whole day interview. And then...
Was it just one interview? Or you had...
No. You had...
As I know the big...
3 or 4 interviews. Yeah, I had 3 or 4 interviews.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I remember they almost like pit you against each other. So they had this thing called the leaderless discussion.
Oh, wow.
And it was... they call it a leaderless discussion, but thinking back now or even then, afterwards, you say, wait, no, they were probably checking to see who would emerge as a leader kind of thing, So, so I got into BP. I did pretty well there.
You moved up the ranks a little bit, huh?
Well,
or like different positions.
Yeah, so coming out of the challenge program, like I was the valedictorian for the program, and that kind of thing. So it was a really enriching experience for me. And again, a lot of my experiences come back to people and interacting with people, which I love. So I think that's why I was chosen, because, I was, to put it simply, I was good with people now. And I like to be good with people. So, that was very rewarding there. And then I went into long-term planning, right? So in long-term planning, you're looking at the 30-year forecast or trajectory of the business, right? So I was one of the main analysts involved in that. And that makes you understand business, numbers, operations, financing, resourcing, risk, like crazy, because you're doing this for a multi-billion-dollar company.
Wow.
Multi-billion US dollar company with, who export at one time, the exports, you would be, if you miss an export or something happens, somebody could not have electricity in somewhere in Spain.
Right.
So these are the
that
kind of
thing.
Consequences are huge.
Yeah. The consequences are huge.
Yeah.
And you have investors, and BP is a publicly traded company. Trinidad was very important to the BP group.
Yeah.
So, you got a lot of great exposure there.
Yeah.
Right.
What about the company culture and that sort of thing? You enjoyed working with there? You enjoyed your team, the people?
Yeah, for sure.
Was it too corporate or?
I wouldn't say so, because BP Trinidad, in their mission or vision statement, they talk about being a BP with a distinctly Trinidad and Tobago identity.
I like
right.
That.
Yeah. So we were very Trini. In the way that we operated and stuff, and cultures clash. So you would have expats come down here and they might not understand. Well, you lime the night before and come to work the next day, and but top performers, Trinidadians, when we go out there in the BP world, top performers.
That's great.
Like, our engineers, something about us in the creativity of our people or the desire to GT to get through comes out in problem solving and stuff. So I always remember them. They would talk about the engineers that go out there and they do so well because they're so solution oriented and or they will find a way to get something done. So I mean the company culture in BP was great. I think it is probably one of the best places to work, I would say, in the Caribbean.
Right.
What you're exposed to there in terms of processes and operations and culture leadership. I got a lot of good leadership experience, both from a mentoring side, and also challengers, people who were in the program like myself, coming through. You would be almost like a kind of mentor or coach to them, right? So that was just phenomenal, and a lot of the things that I do in WrapWorks now, I would have, I would take something from the BP experience and put it in there, and some people might look and say, "But what, you feel is a BP or what?" But like, nah, this is the way to do it. Sometimes you have to think bigger and be bigger than you really are, so that when you get to that level, you're not left scrambling. So the culture was amazing. People say that things have changed. I mean, after the Macondo incident with the with that oil spill in the Gulf, I mean,
and they had like a live stream, and it was like you could live stream that spill 24/7. That was such a PR crisis. I mean, it's a crisis global. There's a bad crisis. And it really. Things change companies, and I think the company changed after that, and people just realized that, we just needed to crack down and be a lot tighter on certain things. And one of the hardest things to change in a company is culture. Culture anywhere is really hard to change. So, as with all businesses, you have challenges and stuff, but I've heard people say that, that the BP, when I was there and the BP today might be different, but businesses have to do what businesses have to do. So So at what point in BP did you want to start WrapWorks? Like, when did that begin? I mean, it sounded like everything you were doing was leading up towards the start of WrapWorks. But at what point in your career did it start?
Right. Yeah.
And how long from like idea to
implementation? So in 2009, right, I saw the gyro seed on our Peter Avenue exploding.
Right.
Like, I mean, Trinidadians were so into this thing. We are people, we like our food, I think. So, you saw the success of Subway, which was sandwiches, and people, they were eating a lot of sandwiches out there. A lot of cold sandwiches too, which, we like hot food in Trinidad kind of thing. And the gyros were doing well. And I looked at the product, and I remember I was with a friend of mine called Katie. And I said to her, Katie, I think I'm going to do something like this, but I'm going to up the game. And Katie just like laughed at me. It was like a kind of real ridiculous kind of laugh, like, what are you talking about?
Who you feel you is?
Yeah. And I was just like, all right, and then, but I realized, so because of the business side of me, I realized, okay, if you want to do something like this, what are going to be your differentiating factors?
Yeah.
What are you going to do that is going to make you different, and help you to grow, right? So I said, one of the first and most important things to me was to create a good brand.
Yeah.
Right? So I remember going to Paul Benson, my...
big up to Paul.
Yeah, big up to Paul, right? My graphics guy from day one. Going to him and telling him about, the logo.
Yeah.
And, I want this thing to look foreign, like something like a franchise that we bring down.
Yeah.
Everything about it, the look, the feel, everything. And Paul was like, okay, and he did a phenomenal job with the logo, with the W that looks like a side profile of a wrap when you cut it and that kind of thing.
You wanted to look pro. pro something that could go international kind of thing.
Yeah. Not just like Gerard and Apollo, big up to Apollo too.
Yeah.
You know, my business partner, you know, at the time and so on, where, you know, we really came together and did this thing, launched this thing. Right? So I knew that I wanted that. And for me, you know, with apologies, I find a gyro was a kind of substandard product, you know.
I hate them.
Right.
I find it's crap.
Right.
Like
so,
the meat is like so, I don't even know what it is.
Right. So it's
I'm not too sure what it is.
It's reconstituted meat.
Like
right?
I could be drunk and I still don't like it.
Right.
You know, and when you're drunk, the worst doubles taste good.
Right. You know
what I mean? I don't know, boy, but people seem to like it.
You know, people like things that taste really good and are affordable.
And wet food too. It very
and
wet.
Saucy.
And
saucy.
Yeah.
So I'll come to WrapWorks sauces, right? So, you know, it was reconstituted meat, lettuce, cabbage.
Yeah.
So I said, right, well, I need to do something better. So I need to give people some choice. And then I didn't want to be looked as a gyro at all. A gyro to me this day is still a 4-letter word.
Right.
You know, in our restaurant, I think when customers come and say, wait, is all you have here, like gyros? Like,
no, sir, no.
Yeah, no.
We don't do that over here.
You start to be kind of smile and say, well, no, you know. But, you know, it's a 4-letter word for me.
Yeah.
So I said I need to distinguish myself from that gyro perception, right?
Yeah.
And I said, how am I going to do that? So I started to look at, well, what type of cuisine is a gyro? It's like Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I am then going to have wraps or meals from a different culture. And the first thing you think of is Mexican.
Yeah.
But then I started to look around and I say, you know what? Mexican food don't seem to be doing too well in Trinidad. Like, you know, at the time and even today.
Was there anybody though? I don't think there was anybody. Really.
I mean, you had people who were doing things, but not lasting.
Not on your level either.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, when we went Fatima, we had like a taco lady for a little bit across the road.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't nothing like what you do it, like fancy.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and my belief there is that our palate in Trinidad is for sweet.
Okay, yeah.
And Mexican. So you have to get down into what the product is, and the product is a cuisine. And that cuisine uses a lot of sour flavors.
Right.
So tomatoes could be naturally sour, right? Depending on how you cook it and the spices.
And like a salsa,
so
is a bittery kind of thing.
Yeah, all of those things.
Yeah.
So, but that's not our palate, right? When you look at our most popular foods, we don't really have anything like that.
Well, we like hot, spicy.
We like spicy, but
we like savory.
Right, but even in the spicy things, we still add some sweetness.
True.
So, for example, chow.
Yeah.
You know, to some extent, the elements of chow might still have some sweetness.
Some
Sweet sauce and doubles.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we have this, for better or for worse, we have this this kind of culture.
We like sweeter. I mean, even like when I was working at an ad agency, we had Pepsi as a client.
Right.
And what I heard was when they brought Pepsi to the Caribbean, and they did like their taste tests and whatever, the Caribbean consumer preferred the sweeter version.
Right.
So the Pepsi in the Caribbean,
right.
I don't know if this is still the case.
Right.
But I was told it is a little sweeter, and in fact, it tastes sweeter
than
when you go abroad.
Yes.
Because when I tried it in Florida, Pepsi for the first time, I was like, this tastes quite similar to a Coke.
Exactly.
Whereas Pepsi in Trinidad, I find, is a little sweeter.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
so like when you would go pair one, and you would have they wouldn't get rum and Coke, you would get Pepsi and Coke. It would taste sweet.
Yeah.
I'm like, woo, you know, didn't really didn't like it at all. But yeah, so for sure that sweet thing. But sweet breakfast now.
Right.
Like the donuts it didn't seem to kind of take off. For breakfast, we like our doubles, our pies,
right.
Our what you call it, sada, saltfish, bake, kind of thing. So for breakfast, I don't think we're really into sweet breakfast. Breakfasts.
Yeah. and you know what? You're right. And we have to remember that to some extent, that was something that was imported into our culture.
Yeah.
The donuts,
technically, you know, a lot of cuisine that has evolved in Trinidad has been from historical, historical meals that might have been part of some culture that then got a Trini flavor or were adapted because of, let's say, lack of ingredients or different influences or whatever it is, right? But a donut is something that was wholly kind of imported to Trinidad. That didn't evolve through anything like a lot of the other popular breakfast dishes, right?
Yeah.
So I knew that I had to do flavors from different cuisines and nothing gyro or Mediterranean, right? And that's where international flavors under one roof really came from.
Right.
So I went to a professional chef, like one of the country's top chefs, right? And the thing is, like, one very important thing in business is to know what you know and what you don't know.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people who know it.
Yeah.
Who know it.
Yeah, well said.
Who could teach you and who you could learn from, right? Because I don't go and play I know anything out there.
Yeah, or know everything.
Or know everything, right? So what I don't know, I mean, you have Google.
Yep.
You could use Google, but
that could only take you so far.
That could only take you so far, right? So I went when I Trinidad and Tobago's, like, really top chefs, and I said, hey, this is a concept that I have. What can we do? I want to incorporate a flavor from every cuisine and stuff. The other thing with WrapWorks is I look at it too for business and operation purposes as a manufacturing business.
Okay.
So manufacturing businesses have different inputs, right? That could make either one product or different products or variations in products, different levels or trims of products, which you see in cars and so on, right? So I knew that I wanted to adapt that type of manufacturing process to this business, right?
Yeah, because it's like an assembly line kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And with an assembly line, you don't have too much variation until the final product. So what that means is, in my mind at the time, as this idea was being developed, if you're going to do different cuisine, I had to cook 12 different kind of chicken, boy. I had to season up chicken 12 different ways and things.
Yeah, that's a complicated things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you need space and...
And which one going to be more popular, which going to be a top seller.
Yeah.
Just that is like madness,
Yeah.
So then we said, okay, boy, sauce. We say sauce is going to be that defining thing that is going to make the meal, like going to make a Mexican wrap, which technically is the same wrap until you get to that stage of adding the sauce flavor. It's going to make a Mexican wrap a Mexican versus a very different tasting wrap, sweet Thai peanut.
Yeah. Right.
Sweet Thai peanut wrap, right? So, and of course, the chef was excited about this. He was like, yeah, well, and then I actually listed cuisines, and then we were like, okay, for this cuisine, we're going to make this sauce. For this cuisine, we're going to make this sauce, and so on and so on and so on, right? Yeah. So that's how we came up with international flavors under one roof.
So there was a lot of research and exploring at the beginning then, before you actually kind of get started.
Yeah.
So how long was it? And I mean, how did you manage your full-time job at BP?
Right.
And you have this brainchild that you're trying to do the research and make all the right steps before you launch. Like, how you manage that?
Right. I think that that to some extent I am very easily distracted.
Okay.
So I mean, like Dexter could tell you, I would just be on one thing now and just go and do a completely different thing. And I think over the years in dealing with that challenge, it has made me extremely efficient. So I think that I am able to do a lot of things at the same time or within a day. And then that makes me want to have tools around me that help me to be efficient, right? So what I would say is that at BP, between BP and WrapWorks, I also believe that, personally for me, I can handle 2 mega projects at any one time. So, when I was at BP, it was BP and WrapWorks. When I left BP, it was BP and trying to get into a good school, which in itself is a whole process. And then when I was in a good school, it was about how do you be in school, perform in school, excel, you know, because I also graduated as valedictorian of the MBA program. So how do you excel and run a successful business at the same time?
Yeah.
You know, so definitely just being super efficient is one of them, and just making use of your 24 hours in your day.
Yeah.
As best as possible. So in the morning you wake up early, you work on WrapWorks, you go to BP, you give BP their due, because the last thing you want somebody to say is,
you're not performing. And,
this man start a business, and you know, and
Yeah.
then they calling you in some room to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
You know, thankfully that I didn't allow that to happen. You know, so then and then, you know, you go home in the evening.
Yeah.
And you just work on WrapWorks. And you know, you're young, you know, you don't need as much sleep, so you're just pumping.
And you ain't playing PS4 for 3 hours and watching Netflix back to back for 5 hours, 6 hours, and all that kind of shoppiness.
Yeah, not at that time.
Yeah.
And
so you use your time wisely.
yeah. And then what's important to know too is that you had a business partner.
Right.
So somebody else carrying the load. And then I had Dawn, right, who still today, you know, she's the general manager of WrapWorks. Dawn is my cousin who is at Arapita branch and does a phenomenal job of day-to-day operations and keeping me in check.
Right.
Dawn is a big balancing factor for me and actually pushes me to be the best in some ways. You know, we push each other to be our best. And, you know, sometimes I have to make a decision and I'll just run it by her first, you know. So, you know, having a good team is part of how you do the work business balance, almost say work-life balance. Work business balance, having a good team is definitely a big part of it.
Yeah. A good team who's dependable.
Yes.
Yeah,
and who shares in your vision and your passion. I'll tell you this though, Dawn's vision and passion and my vision and passion align, but you're not always going to have that either with business partners or employees especially.
Right.
I mean, you could imagine people work for you who you are part of your team and depending on to carry out your vision, and they don't have your vision. And they may not care. And, you know, so part of the whole success and so on is really about having people share in your vision, even if it's a little bit, even if it's 5%, because it motivates them and they understand what you're trying to achieve, and they could be a part of it.
And then, as you said earlier as well, letting people know what your vision is important. Not kind of holding that too close.
Yeah,
because everybody kind of needs to understand. Okay, it's like if you say we need to do this, like the reason is because this is a step towards what the big vision is.
Yeah. So, you know, when we were doing Shogunas, which technically was the 4th opening of a location. So I like to say we've opened 4 locations. Right. We closed Royal Palm Plaza, which ironically was very close to my Shops of Maraval vision. You know, and we did look at Shops of Maraval, right? And then we have temporarily closed down in San Fernando because we are in the process of reopening a South branch, right? So with Shogunas being the 4th one being opened, part of the vision I painted was that this is a growing brand. So the staff is not you're not just part of a little Shogunas outlet, you're part of a Arapita too. And it could be part of a bigger brand, you know, and a bigger company, you know.
So when did you leave BP to do this full time?
Right, yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, I mean, oh my gosh, BP was just awesome. I keep saying that, you know. You had a good job. I mean, I was so excited in what I was doing. You know, and there was a offering for VSEP, voluntary separation, right? At the time, I was getting married, right, to Mika, who is a real force in my entrepreneurial journey, because she is an entrepreneur herself, in her thinking and everything, and you know, she pushes me to do more and be more, because the balance with us is that she thinks really out there, right? And big vision, you know, put a man on the moon kind of thing. And I think like, you know, well, how that man get into the moon? Like we send the man to the desert first, and you know, so I am like here and she's like here, and we, you know, we balance out each other really well, right?
So that's important, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I've gone off there on my wife.
That's fine.
Husbands tend to do, but I'll bring it back now to say that she also encouraged me to get a master's degree.
Okay.
Right? To further my education and to do it outside of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Right? So when BP came now and said, you know, we're going to give you a nice package.
Yeah.
A nice chunk of money. And to leave the company, I put up my hand.
Right.
And at that time, they were rejecting people and stuff to some extent. So
depending
on, you know, the needs of the organization. So I put up my hand in a way that said, okay, Lord, if this is to be, it will happen. And if they reject it, then I stay in BP and we take it from there.
Right.
You know? But then, apparently with finance, they said anybody who puts up their hand, go in.
Oh.
So I went. So I said, okay, this is destined, right? So I get this big chunk of money now.
Yeah.
You know, I reinvested some in the business. A lot of it paid for school, right? I left BP after 9 years and a great career. I mean, people were shocked, you know, like, you know, well, where you're going and stuff. But you see, the other thing too is when you're entrepreneurial, you can't be half pregnant.
Yeah.
Right? Where you can't be half pregnant. You have this business. At the time, it was 2 locations.
Yeah.
You're looking to do a third one. But you're in BP. And there's only so much you could really do. I mean, I was doing a lot while being at BP.
Yeah.
But there was only really so much that you could do. And it's like, Gerard, do you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to be you know, just a successful corporate person? And either one was kind of fine by me, you know, but because the whole visa thing came about and the ability to leave Trinidad for a while for school, I jumped at it, you know. I jumped at it.
So how come you decided to go back to school? What did you feel like you were missing something?
I mean, you know, the verdict on formal education is a funny one, you know, especially for entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So what I knew I was missing was, and what I thought an MBA would bring, really 2 things. I mean, it might be fading now, and there's you know, there's the jury is out on, you know, what is an MBA in 2020. You know, before it was like, ooh, you have an MBA, wow, you know. But I knew that I wanted to further my studies in business, but a particular field or subset of business, which is finance, and more specifically, the capitalization of businesses and the growth of businesses, right? Being able to set up your business in a way that you can go to investors and get investment.
Right.
So when I went to do this MBA, I said that I was going to focus on that. So within my finance specialization for the MBA, I did things like mergers and acquisitions, because that's one way to grow. I could go and buy out, you know, I could go and buy out a smaller restaurant chain, and that's how, you know, I grow WrapWorks, right? Or technically I can be acquired by one and still be a part of it somehow, and that way, you know, there's some growth too. I mean, it's no longer yours, but you know, it might be part of a bigger group or something. You know.
So basically, you were really looking to take this thing to the next level.
Right.
You're not looking for like 1 or 2 stores. Like you want WrapWorks to be like, tell me where you are now. Like how many stores, how many people, kind of thing,
right,
and like what is the big vision? Like where you see this thing.
Right. Yeah. So, I want WrapWorks to be regional,
right?
A strong regional brand, and I also want to take it in some form or fashion to the United States.
Yeah.
Right? To those bigger markets, right? And I say in some form or fashion because it mightn't be the same WrapWorks that worked in Trinidad, because if I go out in New York and say, hey, I have Thai peanut chicken wrap, people be like, you and everybody else on the streets.
I get him, hit him with a stew chicken wrap or something.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But, the businessman in me too does not want to do what I kind of call like the cliched Caribbean person. They go to America and they open a food business and a stew chicken and rice and that
so
kind of thing.
You want to hit them with something a little more creative.
A little more creative and still working through that. But definitely to be a regional force, right?
And how many stores you have here now?
We have 2 now.
2.
And we're going to be opening reopening San Fernando, hopefully within the next few months.
You have a mobile something as well?
Yeah. So we have a mobile, a trailer, trailer, which is a fully self-equipped kitchen, is even air-conditioned. It has hot water. The works, right?
And that's what you had going around for carnival fets and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So events, but that was also what was on the cross in San Fernando.
Okay.
Yeah, that was on the cross in San Fernando. And it was one of the few lunch options on the cross, right? And one of the few healthy options on the cross.
Nice, man.
Right.
So tell me about the menu. So what's on the menu?
Yeah.
What's cooking?
Right. So, I could tie this back to the international flavors under one roof, right? Because when you do research into different cuisines, every cuisine has some form of wrap.
Yeah.
And even a wrap is a form of a sandwich, right? So, on the Indian/Asian side, you have they don't have, they say they don't have roti in in India and stuff, right? Yeah. But or what we call roti.
Not exactly like
not
it.
Exactly like it, but there's some form of that. They have the the bows, right?
Which is
the
like a pav?
Which is like a open-ended pav.
Okay.
Right? So almost it's almost like a doubles.
Ah.
Right. And a doubles is a wrap.
Right.
Technically.
Yeah.
When they wrap it, it could be wrapped like a wrap or you scoop it up like a wrap. So for me, a taco is almost like a form of wrap. It's just
the container, right?
Yeah.
That you put whatever in, whether it's a sandwich or a wrap or or the shell.
Yeah. It's some filling that is being held by some typically flour type of something that makes it easier to eat, and it is like all of the other kind of sides that you have, like rice and stuff, that carries the meal.
Exactly.
Carries the flavor of the meal.
And to go with it is infinite possibilities, really.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You could experiment. I see people going crazy off of pigeon piece doubles and stuff, but I mean, you could do anything, So that's why we have the burritos and tacos, because to me, those are wraps too.
Yes.
And then we have our number one seller, which is the regular wrap. Regular chicken wrap is our number one seller. No.
And then you have the bowls.
Yes, the rice bowls. 2 types of bowls, salad bowls and rice bowls.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason why actually rice bowls and salad bowls came about is because you're already doing rice and beans for a burrito.
Yeah.
And you're already doing all these vegetables to give people infinite kind of infinite variations of wraps, with all these different types of fruits and vegetables. So it's like, okay, well then why not have a rice bowl?
Yeah.
Why not just take the rice and make it into a bowl for people who just want to eat like, real food, because people will come in and say, what kind of rabbit food is this? Kind of thing here, and say, well, actually no, and we are rice and peas people.
Right.
We like pilau and stuff. So actually no, we have a rice bowl there. Rice, black beans, choice of 2 veggies, choice of any meat, choice of any international sauce.
Yeah.
So, all right, I will try that. So you cater for that market too. That kind of like, if you have to do a profile of like, a big strong man, he come in and he buying maybe a little something simpler for the wife and kids, but he say, I want something serious.
Yeah.
You could go with the rice bowl. So
yeah. That's nice, man.
Yeah.
So what do you say is like the biggest challenge of running a food business?
Right. Good.
Yeah.
I like how you say food business and not business.
Yeah.
Because all businesses gonna have their challenges.
Yeah.
Right now, our biggest challenge is food costs.
Right.
Right. And in any business, you have what you call your gross margin, which is the profit that you make from selling the good or service that is directly related to the sale of the good or service. So for me, that is food costs, right? For a furniture shop, it will be the cost of wood and nails and the labor to make the chairs and the tables and stuff.
Yeah.
For me, is the cost of food, right?
Is it because a lot of our stuff is imported in Trinidad?
That is hit the
so
nail
the
on the
prices
head.
are
You hit the nail on the head.
yeah. So your margins have to be smaller because people would only pay up to a certain amount, right?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, you're hitting some key points there. One of the main ones. Now we stress for local content as much as possible.
Right.
I mean,
Local farmers.
Yeah, local farmers, local dealing with locals,
Yeah.
right? Because at one point in time, I'm not sure what it is now, but it speaks to the severity of the issue. They say like every dollar spent in Trinidad and Tobago, about 70 cents of it is on an imported good or service.
Yeah, that ain't good.
I mean, that was it might be the exact number, it might be higher, it might be lower.
It's high, it's high.
But you get an idea of what it is, right? And personally, for me, sometimes I go into certain supermarkets and stuff, and I see what I consider to be waste of time goods, right? Some little cookies, and then when you look at it, made in somewhere in Chicago, Illinois, or something.
And why?
And like, why are we spending foreign exchange on these things?
Yeah.
Why don't we have people who are making these cookies?
But is it that Hilo or True Value or whoever just can't get those numbers? Like we don't have a local. We have like artisan people that doing cookies and whatever. You could get it in little gourmet stores and whatever.
Right.
But could they do hundreds daily?
Right.
Is it that?
Right. No, you have yeah, I mean,
I agree with you. I'm just being devil's advocate here.
But that's a very good point.
Yeah.
And it is a challenge for us to scale certain types of businesses in Trinidad and Tobago for many different reasons, right? I think a big part of it is the capitalization of these businesses, meaning the investment to get them to where they need to be, right? And it also has to do with, a bit with the entrepreneurial culture and the individuals who might be behind some of these artisan type businesses, right?
Yeah.
So to some extent, just particularly on the artisan side, you're almost dealing with like an artist. So, they care a lot about their craft. They are their craft. So if you might talk about bringing in some huge machine,
they're looking at churn out numbers.
That's
true.
That's with to some extent. I mean, there are just so many factors why it is we not scaling our manufacturing businesses to a point where we could meet the demand of a Massey and a True Value within the country. I mean, of course, there are businesses that are doing it phenomenally, like the Bermudas Group, Sunshine Snacks and so on. I mean, they have really, within a few generations, they have really scaled to becoming exporters.
And then all of our soft drinks and that kind of thing.
Yeah, all those
we have some amazing snacks in Trinidad. I wouldn't lie. If you taste our stuff on the international stuff, we real good. We ain't subpar. We real good. Yeah. And I'm real happy to see that like our packaging, our branding, like everything is getting better and better. I mean, Sunshine did a rebrand the other day. I don't know which agency did it for them, but it's real good stuff. I love all of their new packaging is awesome.
Yeah. And funny you should say that because where we live in Brooklyn, Charles Chocolate, on the gondolas, they actually have a shelf.
Nice, man.
At the end of a gondola with only Charles Chocolate. So I was like, wow, and this is in Rite Aid, and I was like, this is pretty amazing,
Yeah, we doing things.
Yeah.
So back to the food cost now.
Right,
so you're saying food cost is
food
one
cost.
of your biggest challenges.
Yeah, boy.
And you say you try to source things locally from local farmers. Do you have to get from like several different farmers to make up the quantity that you want, or for your size that you're doing right now, you're able to get enough lettuce or tomatoes or whatever?
Right. So
how does that go?
to be a little bit more clear, we because of the volumes we do, we can't deal too much with individual farmers, right?
Yeah.
But we do deal with people who have like contacts in the market. So so you mightn't be getting the tomatoes and stuff from the same farmer all the time. You might be getting it from different farmers, but you have somebody who is a distributor who would pull the things and get them to you.
Yeah.
Right. So having said that though, sometimes the foreign stuff is cheaper. I mean, we are susceptible to so much in Trinidad. One flood, you're not getting no local tomatoes. You have to go back foreign. Right. And then if there's a shortage, then that means the price is gonna go up and so on. Right. But the main thing in my food costs that I really have to address is the fact that we really have a premium product. So it's almost like, I mean, I don't want to say it's a Rolls Royce, but it's almost like that. But you can't charge Rolls Royce prices. Because you will price yourself out of the market easily, especially compared to foreign franchises. Right? And we like to say things like 100% real meat from farm to grill. Something very important to me. Now, I could get imported chicken, right? From
I like the quotes.
From somewhere, right? But I love when we have raw chicken breasts come into our kitchens and we prep it and we know that this is 100% real meat from farm to grill.
This is our chicken breast.
Right, this is a chicken breast.
It's not something could be chicken knuckle.
Yeah. So without calling any names and without opening up myself to any legal action, right? Most of these foreign franchises, and it's business, and I understand business, and to some extent I respect it, right? They cannot do that. They cannot use 100% real meat. Their meat is coming from a factory or somewhere that it is processed to get it at a cost that they can be competitive at. Right? And at scale too. So for example, the more supply there is, right? The cheaper the prices, right? So these things are being processed in factories that doing a phenomenal amount of these types of meats and shipping them internationally and being used by these restaurants, and their prices are able to remain very competitive, right? Now I can't do that because I refuse to sell those types of products, right? That's not the WrapWorks brand. And actually, I think that has kept us going very well throughout very challenging economic times in Trinidad, where I think customers really respect the quality of the food that we do. And therefore, our demand has not dropped as much as other businesses that we've seen or information we've been privy to. Because,
I think also the public is getting... We know a lot more about health, and we're looking at health and that kind of thing, and you guys definitely have healthier options, than what you would get in your KFC, your whatever,
right.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I think that's a big plus as well. So you can charge above them, but you ain't want to go like restaurant price,
right? Nah, you can't, And the truth is, I am very on top of my numbers, by the third day of the following month, I know exactly how much money we make. Right. So it's something that I deal with on a monthly basis, trying to get my food costs down. Some of it too is portioning, you get pretty good portion value at WrapWorks, and some of that is eat little and live long on the business side. Right. But eat plenty on the customer side, right? So it's a little bit of a balance, but again, like I think some of the real challenges to demand and revenue that have been experienced by other businesses through challenging economic times, we have not been hit as hard, And it's based on information coming from my accountant when he's doing the books. He say, you all are pretty okay given the fact that, you know, you might be double digits down, but other people, single digits down, but other people are double digits down.
Right.
You're talking to, I have good relationships with my suppliers too. So you're talking to them and you're like, how are things on the trade? Things real slow on the trade. You know, we getting problems to collect money from customers, which means that businesses are challenged to pay their bills, you know. And you know, thankfully we've been doing okay. I mean, we are challenged too, but you know, I think that eat little and live long and just, you know, keeping the quality of that product going has made customers really stick with us, you know.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about these sort of gourmet-ish grab and go things? So you have Starlight Drugs now with their meals, and I mean it's like $100 or $120 for these grab and go meals. What is the one in Ellerslie Plaza again? There's a restaurant upstairs, Aioli Marketplace, for example. What do you think about that? Because they kind of found a niche there, right? Because you're getting restaurant type food, you know, but it's way more expensive than your KFC and so on, more expensive than what you're doing as well,
right?
What do you think about that? How you think those are doing?
Yeah. So I'll start off by saying this. At the core of our products is convenience, right?
Yeah.
If anybody asks me, what's the core product you sell? I sell convenience. I don't sell wraps. You could go, man, make a wrap. You know, sometimes, depending on how long you take and what you do, you might make a better wrap than me. Right. And, you know, somebody might come and tell you that on social media. I can make a better wrap than that or whatever. Okay. You know, that might be true. But at the end of the day, I sell convenience. And for me, it's about what are the things you could do to be the most convenient for your customers, to offer your customers the most convenience, because that's what you're selling. And this is what Starlight and they have done. Right. So they have tapped into that convenience aspect of, you know, you go to buy nail polish and, well, I could get dinner too. Right. By no means is it a new or novel concept. No. I mean, it has been in the States for decades. You know, particularly in the UK.
I was just surprised to see that people would be buying out these $120 boxes of food.
Right. Because people willing to pay for convenience, right? Because convenience is a commodity or product that means so much to people. Which is why Amazon is phenomenally successful.
Oh God,
right. You know, you all know about the Amazon, the buttons. So
the dash buttons, Amazon Dash,
stuff, right? This is what convenience is. So, like, even for me now with delivery and curbside and stuff, I am being stretched to see how I could offer convenience to my customers, because the $120 meal, let's say the 120. I mean, I think 120 might be a little high. I mean, you know, let's say a $80 rice dish in a convenience type pharmacy setting, or even some of the service stations now, the gas stations, like the one on Rice Road and so on. Let's say they have something for about 70, 80 compared to my $50 rice bowl, right? The customer paying the premium of $20 for convenience. Now, how can I get that to the customer still at $50? So you have delivery, you have curbside. You know, well, delivery you pay a bit extra, but still the convenience is there. So to me, that's where the real competition lies. And that is what is going to start to put pressure on these businesses now, because that's not their core business. That's not their core business. Might be, you know, food and dealing with that and so on. I understand that some of them have set up their own central kitchens, so they have now gotten into food to supply their stores, which means that, you know, is doing well and is making money.
It seems so for sure, man. It seems so for sure. So maybe we could kind of jump into like advice now, right? Because you know, some people, like, maybe straight out of school, they might have an idea and they might wanna do something, but they really might not have the experience as yet. And a lot of businesses, I think, first-time business owners tend to fail, but then sometimes they get up and they brush themselves off and they go. But it seems to me, because, you did well at Fatima, you did well at UE, your job experience really prepared you for WrapWorks and starting this business.
Right.
So for somebody who's kind of coming up, you think you had to kind of get the education type experience, the work experience before you think of diving into something like a food business or any other business?
Right.
Or do you think there's another way to do it?
Right. So I have a bit of a interesting take on that, right? Because as through this entrepreneurial journey, businesses are built with assets.
Yeah.
Right. And your assets work for you and they generate revenue. Right. And people have to understand, well, what are their assets? Right. Some people have assets like their father might have a piece of land or own a building, or their parents were entrepreneurs. So they, they kind of grew up in it, right?
Yeah.
That is an asset. That the environment is an asset. Some people might have a particular skill. They're really good at being an auto mechanic, and they realize, well, I want to have my own auto mechanic shop.
Yeah.
That is an asset. Some people will inherit a lump sum of money. That is an asset.
Yeah.
Some people might have a survival instinct to just survive and survive no matter what.
Yeah.
That is an asset.
And hustle.
And
Yeah,
hustle
yeah.
and
Yeah.
make it happen, make
Yeah.
it work. Stick with it, persistence,
Yeah.
right? So it's about what are your assets,
Yeah.
right? And how are you going to put them to work for this business, right?
Yeah.
And so it's about understanding your strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
right? It's about understanding what gaps you may have and how you're going to fill them. And then more importantly, I think the core of any business is what need are you going to fulfill in the marketplace? Either a need that is not already there or one that needs significant improvement.
Yeah.
Or how are you going to create a need?
Right.
Sometimes you could create a need. Sometimes you could create a product that people might say, well, boy, I never knew I needed this in my life.
Yeah.
And now it is here, and now I'm glad for it.
Yeah, Steve Jobs used to say that. He used to be like, he was real against these studies when you bring in consumers or whatever.
To ask them what they want.
To ask them what they think
people
about
don't
this
know
or
what
whatever.
they
He's
want.
like, they don't know what they want. I tell
Yes.
them what they want.
Yeah, and
That don't always work.
that
but
don't always work, but there's so much truth to that because even we even have to be careful in listening to customers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, if you are not seasoned,
Yeah.
a customer will come and tell you something like, you know what, Dread? Okay, let me say 10 people come and say, you know what? You need to start to put some Doritos in your wraps.
Yeah.
And you listening to that and you're like, yeah, boy, okay,
Boy,
but so many.
Doritos.
And you know what? Data is so important. I didn't really talk about the data part of my life and so on.
Yeah.
But data is so important because what will happen is if you don't have data, you're going to feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're going to be getting what I call feel back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
10,
like
10
that.
people
I like
say
that.
something and you feel
Yes.
like it's 1,000.
Yeah, like it's 1,000. Every customer wants it.
Yeah.
And then you go and make a business decision based on that.
Yeah.
And then next 3 months, the thing fail and you're like, but and people say they wanted this. Where the people?
I really like that, I feel back, you know,
Yeah.
because really sometimes you might hear this anecdotal, whatever, but it does not, there's not the majority of people,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
you really cannot do it. So you need to do it scientifically is
Yeah.
what I'm saying when you're getting proper feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it may not be sustainable.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing, another big part of what we do is one of the things I would ask Dawn when we're making decisions is, do you think that we could wake up every day and do this new aspect of the business?
Yeah.
And or who are the people that we will need to do this? Where are we going to find them? How can we retain them? What might be the risks that we take on or are willing to take on? And can we see ourselves doing this for the next 2 to 3 years or whatever it is? And when you put in new things into a business, sometimes if the answer is no, then just maybe you shouldn't do it. Maybe it's not the right time.
Yeah.
Because sustainability and consistency is a key part of offering a product that people that people believe in and people have confidence in. You know, so we are doing delivery now, and it's going very well. In the past, we have tried to do delivery on our own. We have tried to work with other people. We've, you know, different incarnations of delivery service, right? And after about maybe 2 or 3 times, I just said we are not going to delve anything into delivery unless we could answer these 3 or 4 questions.
Right.
Because it's a joke. It becomes a joke and people see it.
Yeah.
Oh, WrapWorks offering delivery. And then next 2 weeks, you on Facebook responding to people, sorry, no delivery today. Now, you can't tell them it's because your driver...
Well, as KFC, we are no drivers.
Right. You know? Yeah. You know, that kind of thing, you know. So, you know, sustainability is one. So that's the next piece of advice you would give people. Make sure whatever it is you want to get into, you think that you could sustain it. You think that you could do it for a few years because that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Some things could, you know, I mean, in terms of statistics and risk and stuff, some things would work from the start.
Yeah.
But most things would not.
Yeah.
Right? Most things would not. So you're going to have to put some years into this. You're going to have to understand how you're going to finance those years of being in this if it doesn't work out initially. It's something that you're going to have to make sure that when you wake up in the morning, every morning, you have the passion and the drive to do it.
Yeah.
Now, not all aspects of it, but most aspects of it.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going to also have to ensure that as the entrepreneur, you can be a leader, because one of the biggest aspects of business from the start is being a good leader. Now, you don't have to be the leader or the eventual leader, because you can find better leaders than you, right? But at least at the start, all of the leadership components that are required to be there, you have to either understand them or know you have to work on them, or you have to have them, right? Because eventually, sometimes the entrepreneur may not be the best person to lead the ship. Yeah. And I'm even saying that for my own business, you know. I mean, they have people out there who, you know, could run WrapWorks in a much different way, maybe a much more efficient way, and so on, right? So, you know, then you might step back and go and do something else. Yeah. But for the time when you are the entrepreneur starting out, you have to...
You gotta wear many hats, huh?
Yeah, you have to wear many hats, and you have to be able to lead people. People have to want to be able to work with you. Yeah. Because a lot of it, you might, you know, sometimes you think, oh, I do all this on my own. But nah. Other people was involved. They might have worked for you. They might have been a part of it, but most things would be a team effort. Yeah. Right? So you also have to ensure that you have those leadership capabilities or the desire to have them. Yeah. Another thing is, and this is a big mistake that I made, you always have to have a vision of what the scale of your organization could be. And set deadlines and some kind of timeline. Now, you're probably not going to make the timeline, but at least it is there.
At least you have something.
Yeah.
If not, it's just going to be floating, right?
Yeah. And have mentors. Yeah. Have mentors. So one of my mentors at the start told me, you know, Caribbean entrepreneurs are great at starting businesses, but they're not great at scaling them. Right? But I think that entrepreneurs kind of...
On the whole.
Yeah, entrepreneurs the world over, you know, they challenge to grow, because growth is harder than starting. Yeah. Because when you start small, but when you grow, you almost grow like big, because it's a whole next thing.
The whole logistics out of everything, right? Yeah. I mean, every part of it is.
Yeah. So, you know, you have to really ensure that you have a vision of what this thing could be. Yeah. And then the other thing you have to think about is, okay, how am I going to set up the business or within the journey or on the journey? How am I going to make this the type of business or have business practices, processes, reputation and stuff in place that when I need the money to grow, If I don't have it, I can get it from other people.
Yeah.
Whether it be a bank, whether it be investors, private investors or what have you. And one of the most important things there, and is what they will tell you in debt and equity financing, is that it rests with the entrepreneur. It rests with the person, not necessarily the business. Not necessarily what the business is to some extent, but is the entrepreneur. What are they? Who are they? What do they have? And what is going to be the difference maker that is going to give me the confidence that I am going to get back my money?
Yeah.
Because, basically what you're doing is, at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is about profit, right? So if you're not, if in your mind you're not going after profits and profitability, then basically it's almost like you're doing a bit of a science experiment then, and then it becomes like a hustle, and you have to be wary of that, because sometimes you talk to very small vendors and they think their sales, they might equate sales a little bit to profits, they'll be like, I make $1,200.
Yeah, because they see that money coming in, but how much profit you actually make,
And then how much profit.
If you don't know your numbers, you could be losing.
Yeah. You could be losing.
Yeah.
You could, people could be stealing from you, all kind of things could be happening,
Yeah, no, that's some sort of advice, man. And then some stuff that you said at the beginning, I think, which we could tack on there as well, is your faith.
Right, yeah.
And your belief in self as well, and a positive outlook.
Yes.
On top of all of those things,
yeah.
I think we could add on to that.
Yeah, surround yourself with positive, forward-thinking people.
Yeah.
And tap into resources. There are so many resources out there, so many books.
Right.
If you don't
what are some of your recommendations?
Well, in terms of books, I'm not too... Because of my attention span again.
Blinkist.
Blinkist is awesome, right?
I really into Audible.
Right,
Audible because I could take in an audiobook easier.
Yeah.
Not so much now, but I grew up in Maracas Valley, so I used to have that 1 hour traffic, coming to Port of Spain and going home. Instead of listening to crap on the radio. You could listen to a book. Yeah, you have 2 hours a day to listen.
Or you could listen to the House Lime too.
Yes. Or you could listen to the House Lime. Don't listen. Forget about them books. Forget about them books. Listen to the House Lime.
So it's more like blogs, blogs within whatever discipline you're in. One of my favorite podcasts is Masters of Scale. Right. Where they speaking to people who have scaled businesses phenomenally, and one of the greatest takeaways I got from that, and it's something I would like to leave here, is when you start a business, is like you're like a pirate ship, right? And pirates are an unruly bunch of people. They're drinking, they're smoking, they're going crazy, and then they're going and raid a ship, and you have
plunder.
to walk the plank. Plunder, walk the plank. You have one kind of supreme leader, and if you get rid of him, then you become the supreme leader and stuff. And to some extent in business, that's how you start. And you have to start like that, because sometimes that's the way you're going to be successful. You're going to have to kind of operate almost in like a kind of crazy way sometimes, right? But then eventually...
You got a team.
Yeah, your business gets to a place where you now have to start to operate like a navy.
Yeah, okay, right.
Right? You have chain of command. You have people in uniform, right? You have people who, they know how to stand at attention. They have different duties, job descriptions. They're very clear on what those things are. And you just organize. So instead of plundering now, you're there. Okay, you have your radar. You're strategic. That is
processes.
You have your radar, and okay, we're going after that.
You have your missions.
Yes,
you have
missions.
your teams.
Yeah. So
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and the truth is that sometimes people, they kind of try to be a navy. And sometimes all those rules and things don't work at the start.
Yeah. You mean you're right. From too early, you try to be a navy.
You try to be
but
a
at the
navy.
beginning, you had to be you had to be a pirate.
Yeah, you had to be. Yeah. And there's and then they have some people stay in the pirate zone too long.
Yeah, exactly.
So, they have they might have several locations or big business, and they have so many challenges because they just don't have proper procedures and processes in place, and sometimes when the shocks come, which the shocks come in business life cycles and so on, they might be very challenged.
Yeah.
Right? They might be very challenged. So, that's one of the things that you have to, I take away from podcasts and blogs. And then I'm also a member of a quick serve restaurant group out in the United States with, they send newsletters, amazing stories. The members of the groups share a lot of stories about success and they also share things like numbers, which a lot of people don't share. Numbers are important, understanding, well, how am I doing compared to my competitors? Do we have the same food costs? Are we having the same challenges? Are they doing so much better than me, and why, and what might they be doing that I'm not doing, and so on. So
I think that's important, boy. Even with Facebook, there's Facebook groups for all sorts of things. So even this podcast that we're doing now, like I joined a couple like international groups with podcasters, and they share information on equipment and guests and whatever, and it's important because I could watch every YouTube video, I could read every blog post, but to actually hear from other podcasters how they're doing things, that is gold, very valuable as well. So I mean that's solid advice.
Industry insight.
For sure. Well, boys and girls, I think you'll get real gold nuggets today, boy. Some real good stuff. We went through a lot. I kind of getting worried that we run out of
time.
Run out of tape there.
We have time to talk about
1 hour and 50 minutes.
What? Of
talking for 1 hour and 50 minutes,
wow.
bro. Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't want to beat some previous records, but time flies when you're having fun, right?
It's going good. So what else did we not touch on?
There's one thing I felt like I mean we live in a time now where technology is changing everything.
Or the tech side of things,
So how do you think tech has changed the finance world?
Right.
And food business.
Right.
Because
that's two whole next thing now. Like, go to just food business now. Because you're telling us some cool things about McDonald's doing thing.
Well, restaurants like them working on automation. So I mean, automation is where it's at now. Unfortunately, it's not. I don't like when business leaders say these things about people, but there has always been, especially in manufacturing, this desire to remove the human aspect from the final product. Because people say things like machines don't get sick and that kind of thing, right? That's not the type of leader that I am. So actually, what I try to use our technology to do as much as possible is to make the lives of the humans easier rather than the technology making the business easier. So
more assistive.
Right.
Complementary.
Not
replace.
Right. Making your job easier so that maybe you could do other things that need more of a human touch. Like, deal more with customers, be more customer focused, customer facing. So actually, before any technology is implemented at WrapWorks, I have a meeting with whoever is going to be affected by it, and I let them know this is supposed to make your life and your job easier and better. If it does not, then we will revisit. Right? And sometimes they'll be like, oh gosh, another app? What is this on my phone or the iPad? Well, it's on the iPad. Oh gosh, another app. All right. And then next 2 weeks, oh good, this thing real good, boy.
Exactly.
Yeah, boy. I see it everything. I don't have to write down orders anymore. I get them on the app and I click print, and they print, and then I pass it to the person who has to make the order. But then on the flip side, like, this not working. This technology, it's not really working for us. It's a little too much. It's hard to do any customers in front of you and that kind of thing. And then, you know, we take it from there. You know, sometimes I might say, well, you know, you might have to get used to it. Or sometimes I say, okay, well, let's look for a different application or a different way to use it. But historically, we have been, and I guess it's because of the kind of technology that I've been exposed to at BP and just generally, you know, I am very solution oriented and technology does that. So from very early on, we were all about technology. So we worked with, there was a company called Creative Solutions. And somehow, I think because people see us doing new things, like sometimes we attract people who want to try things and they come to WrapWorks and they say, we have this and we want to try it. And depending on what it is, we'll say, sure, you know, because it teaches us lessons, you know. So from very early on, we had one of the first electronic magnetic strip loyalty card programs, right? And the people behind that came to us and said, you know, you're small, you're open to it, and, you know, we don't have to go through all kind of red tape. We could just talk to you and you say yes or no, and we do it. And so we had one of the first, you know, so people had their little orange WrapWorks cards with the logo on it, and they come and they swipe and their points there, and then they swipe to redeem or they swipe to get points towards free meals, cashback bonus points, and so on. You know, I have a kind of hybrid of an app that, you know, customers could use to order food and to do a whole bunch of things, to speak to me directly. You know, I've now switched that to WhatsApp business, where on each receipt I have a WhatsApp number that they can directly contact me at for anything, and I put it on.
You're brave, receipts. Boy. You're real brave.
Well,
you want to be that. You want that level of being connected, boy.
For now, at this level, yes.
Because WhatsApp right in your pocket, you know.
Yeah, well,
I'm in so many WhatsApp groups now. It's like, oh Lord, between work and play.
Right. Yeah. Well, at this level is manageable. Yeah. And at this level is that feedback will help you to tweak. Yeah. So you could fix things for the next level with that kind of direct feedback, you know. And to be honest, you would think a lot of people would contact you on it, but they don't. It could be because they just don't read. Yeah. So they don't know that is at the bottom of the receipt. Right. But, you know, some people do contact you.
They do now.
Right, yeah. But some people do contact you. And
our listeners are nice people, though.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you want the nice feedback. You want the bad feedback.
True.
You know? Yeah. You really want it, you know. You don't want to be second-guessing some things. So technology, so running the restaurant from foreign, right?
Exactly.
Is, I would say, there's something I call the 3 T's, right? T cubed, right? So to be able to do that, technology is the first thing, teamwork is the second thing, and trust is the last one. Trust that it all will be well. Trust that the organization that you're building and the people behind it are going to execute your vision the way that you would like them to, right? Yeah. So trust is a big part of it. But on the technology piece, I mean, I could not have, I think something as simple as WhatsApp, I could not have run WrapWorks from London without WhatsApp.
Right.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
The ability to have free calling, first of all. The ability to have a picture of something sent to you.
Yes.
Like, you know, in real time, and or do a video sometimes. Something's going on and you come on video chat, you flip the camera. Okay, do this, do that. You know, WhatsApp. And then even the...
We have it real easy now, with all the technology and
even the record keeping of WhatsApp the other day. We couldn't remember something.
Search your chat.
Yeah, we searched your chat back to like 2017 or something. Yeah. And it was right there in writing. Undisputable.
Exactly.
Indisputable. You
Check
know?
out Slack if you want to take that to the next level.
Right.
Though.
So I use Slack in London.
Yeah.
I use Slack in London. I was part of some Slack groups and so on. But I think for now too. But I think for now, you know, the
WhatsApp is
WhatsApp.
Cool,
what works is what's important, huh?
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's different for different people.
And WhatsApp free. WhatsApp free for now. Slack. I think you had to pay
like an enterprise something.
You had to pay for if you want a certain amount of like memory storage, because you could share files in there and that kind of thing. And then the search history only goes back. It won't go back 3 years with the free version.
Right.
You know, but man, there's all sorts of technology at our
the cloud, having stuff on the cloud.
Yeah.
Is really important. And then we have
unless it's like little nudes and thing.
Right.
I don't upload my nudes to the cloud because I'm afraid they'll end up on the internet.
Well, I mean, any data, that's something that I'm always conscious of, that to some extent you do run a risk of your stuff being on the cloud. And it's not a hacker risk, you know. It should just be a risk like somebody signs into their Google account on another laptop in somebody else's home to do something for the business, and then they leave it open, and then somebody else comes along, opens the laptop, say, hey, look this information here, boy, and what that could mean. So you have to have with the cloud, you have to have systems and controls in place for sure. And that could just mean simple things like you give access to somebody for something and then you take it out. So that, and then our point of sale and inventory management systems, which are our basic tools for understanding our revenue, and the majority of our profits are also on the cloud. So I could access that from my phone now.
Technology, man.
Yeah, technology is so important. And, if your business is not hungry for that technology, right? If your business is not hungry for that technology, then you're going to get left behind very quickly. And you're not using the full potential you're not getting the full potential of your business, I should say. Without the use of, and I think regardless of what business it is. So I mean, if you're operating in a business that, has maybe some older people in it who are not into it, I know that's a major challenge for a lot of people, but the younger ones, when they come in, they want to implement and they want to get it running, but, it's tough. It's tough and it's challenging, but, I mean, I can't stress it enough. I mean, they have some other technology that I would love to put in. There's technology now with cameras that will do your customer behavior, how they move around the restaurant, what they do, all those kind of things, you want to get to eventually, but you have to take it a step at a time.
Well, boom, boy, this podcast is packed with stuff. We could go. I feel like we could go on forever, but we definitely gonna run out of space there. So maybe in closing we could go, Fatima boys, come answer to the call.
From far and wide, shoulder to shoulder, ever marching on. God be your guide, fearless and true, loyal to you. Oh, alma mater, firmly won. Strive on, Fatima boys, strive on. Whoop, 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 whoop.